Okay, so here is my aquaponic setup. It's right outside my apartment door. I have a small space. I live on the second floor of my apartment. So yeah, I just have a small space here. It's a cloudy day, so you're not going to see much sun. The system will probably get sun for morning and afternoon, and then the evening sun will be pretty much shaded by this wall behind it, which right now I guess I'm facing west. So it'll get a southern exposure, and then I do have this tree here to contend with as well. Anyway, so I have two media beds on top. They're a little over 20 gallons a piece. I got those from Home Depot. They're like cement mixing tubs, I think they're called. So I have the media beds, those two media beds up top. And then running across the front is my NFT system, where I'll have strawberries growing probably. And then down below I have a about 55-gallon tub where will be my fish tank. And then I have my sump pump, or my sump tank I should say. You can also see that there's a small leak there, so I'm going to have to make sure I have that sealed up. That's just a small drip. So I built the frame just out of some cheap lumber from Home Depot. They have like a discounted lumber stack of wood that's not straight, or maybe has some knot holes in it that's not perfect. I think it's like 70% off. So I just grabbed some of that scrap lumber. They even cut it for me to the size I needed. So if you are doing any apartment living, that's probably a good route to go. And then just got all of the PVC piping at Home Depot as well. You see along the back I do have a trellis. It's framed by PVC, and then it's just a twine trellis, and I found that at Walmart, and I believe that is comes from Miracle Grow, I believe. It's called a garden net trellis. Here's the package from that. So it fit the space pretty well, and hopefully it'll hold up any of the vegetables I'm going to be growing. For the system, I do have a 400-gallon-per-hour pump, submergible pump. You probably won't be able to see it. There it is. It sits down there into the sump, and there is what it is. Active Aqua submersible pump, 400. Alright, so the idea is that my fish tank is a constant height, so it'll be at a constant level. It will drain through this overflow here. It's the top overflow that keeps it at that constant height. I do have a backup overflow here in case that ever gets clogged or it can't keep up with the demand of the water. It can overflow into this higher overflow as well. So it overflows into the sump tank, which I showed you already with the pump, and then it goes up this tube here, and then it goes on 3 different routes. The first one goes up and to the left, over and through my NFT system. I will run down to water the strawberries, and then of course it goes back down into the fish tank. So that's it's a constant flow, just flowing through at a fairly slow pace. Not too high a volume of water through that. My second route is, I don't know if you can see it, there it is. It runs through here, and then it goes right back into the tank. That is to get some air circulation, just get the water flowing, and then it also helps me regulate any flow that I want to go through the NFT and up to the grow beds. So you can see the pipe in the back goes up to the grow bed, comes across, and then I have my 2 outlets here, which I can adjust as well, as long as the one on the bottom that goes back into the fish tank. So that can control how much water output I put in. Okay, so you can see there's a little water here. I haven't got my media yet. I will be getting that over the weekend. Here's the bell siphon. We have the little media guard around it so that it will not get inhibited by any of the media. And then my bell siphon, right? So the standpipe, and then the bell siphon over that, and then my media guard over that. And it is duplicated over here on the side as well. Okay, so once it gets full, both of those will drain down back into the fish tank. So the one on the left will drain here, come down, and flow in here. And then the one on the right is a little bit shorter, so it just comes down and flows in right here. Pretty simple setup. I have a couple drains here in case I would like to drain the system. And then I just have an attachment, which is this, just a piece of PVC with a threaded end that hooks up into like a normal garden hose. So I can just put that in there like that, hook up the hose, and then just drain it down to the trees and rocks below me if I need to. So I can do that on both of them if I ever need to drain the system. I did have a radial filter, but it was really backing up my fish tank and causing it to overflow. I don't know if I had my overflow lines too small or what, but I decided just to keep it simple for now. And as I learn and grow and hopefully build better systems, then I can add a filter later. So that's pretty much the overview of my system right now. Yeah, there is electrical right here as well, which runs the pump that's in the sump tank. Next video, I'll show you how all the water is running through the system. It might be a little bit difficult to hear because it is a little bit loud, especially without the media in the top beds. There's a lot of water noise, but yeah, I'll be showing you that in the next video. Alright, here is the system turned on. We got the pump going and the water flowing through the system throughout the routes. As you can probably hear it, it's a little loud because there's no media in it right now. I have it turned down pretty slow on the top. I can adjust that later. As you can see, the valves on top are wide open. The pump does give more pressure than that, but I have it regulated below with this valve here, which returns the water to the fish tank. So I could turn that completely off and it'll give a lot more water pressure to the whole system, or I can open it up and it takes all the water away from the system and just routes it through this one way. So it's an easy way to regulate the water, and then to even fine-tune it more, I could use the valve here and here to slow it down or speed it up. And then also this one here, which goes up to the NFT system. I have it turned down quite a bit. because the water is supposed to move fairly slow through here. I don't know if you can see down in there. It flows down and empties into the fish tank here. Okay, so with this one going constant and the regulator that circulates the water going constant, I think it allows for a fairly good airflow into the water constantly. And then of course when these empty into the tank, it comes out at pretty high pressure, so it stirs up the water and adds a lot of air for the fish as well. As you can see, the water is already coming through the overflow, so it goes down out of the fish tank and into the sump. Okay, the next part I will show you will be the siphons actually turning on and emptying into the tank. It's going to take a while, so I might stop this and turn up the pressure a little bit just to demonstrate how my siphons are working and draining. Okay, back in a sec. So here is the left media bed filling with water. I shut the right one off for now, just for demonstration purposes of how the sump is going to work. It's flowing at a pretty heavy weight, so I might need to adjust that. We'll see if the siphon breaks. Should about be ready to start. Of course, when it does start, it will be coming down across and out this way here. And then it begins, starting slowly. There we go. Kick in. Beautiful. You should be able to see the water dropping. Alright. I'm going to turn this down a little bit so that this doesn't take so long. Kind of hard to do one-handed. Water is dropping. Remove the guard for now. What's up, buddy? My son. He's about 4. And he is all about the aquaponic garden, let me tell you. He cannot wait to get fish in here. Alright. Almost there. Just a little bit more. See, it's flowing pretty heavy still, and it has not reached my upper overflow yet, so that is good. Seems to be handling all the water so far. Of course, going into the sump, and doing great. Okay, so it's about at the bottom. It looks. Should be sucking air anytime, and it is. That's it. Shuts off, and the process starts all over again. Let's hope it continues once I get the media in, the fish and the plants, and we will be set. Alright, so that's going to conclude my first video. Like I said, I hope to be doing updates of the whole system over time. If you have any questions, comments, advice, criticism, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think.